Gonna wrap up Act Two. One of my favorite scenes in all of Shakespeare and Hamlet, where the ball's really rolling here, and we have our third soliloquy that we have taken the title of our class from. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. So let's jump right in. Here's the brief synopsis of the scene. Claudius and Gertrude set Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, two boyhood friends of Hamlet, to spy on him. When Hamlet himself enters, he is confronted first by Polonius and then by Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, whom he quickly identifies as Claudius's spies. As they talk, a company of touring actors enters. Hamlet persuades one of them to deliver a speech and recognizes to his shame that he has shown less intensity in avenging his father's murder than the actor has done in performance. This is a really important act here. Scene 2. Hamlet hopes that when the players stage the murder of Gonzago for the court, he can determine whether Claudius is guilty of King Hamlet's death. So here's the flourish, hear ye, the trumpets, right? And here's Claudius. Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we did much long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? So call it sense. Nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. Hamlet has changed. He's acting all wild, right? What it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern have known Hamlet. They're his friends. They know him forever. And sith so neighborhood to his youth, and have your right here behavior in his youth, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that open lies within our remedy. Watch Hamlet. What's going on? And report back to us. We want you to, you're kind of spying on Hamlet. Observe Hamlet, his friends, right? And you'll see a little later what Hamlet does. There's a really great play. We don't have time for this, but Tom Stoppard, the British playwright, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, takes the characters of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and there's a play about them. So it's the intertextual play within it. It's really great. So check that out when you there's my plug for that. All right, back to the play. Gertrude. Good gentleman, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men there is not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry, courtesy, and goodwill as to expend your time with us awhile for the supply and profit to our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance. If you do what we say, you'll be rewarded, right? Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasure more into command than to entreaty. But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded. So we're at your service here, right? Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, they agree. And then it's, the king and the queen, they mix them up. Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern. This is some comic moments here. Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. My Hamlet's changed. Go some of you and bring these gentlemen where Hamlet is. Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him. Aye, amen. They exit. Polonius. Here's Polonius back. The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned. Thou still hast been the father of good news. Always been the father of good news. Have I, my lord? Assure you, my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king, and I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure, does not follow clues of political doings with such sureness, as it hath used to do. I'm getting older, I'm getting a little older, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy. And, Polonius thinks he's figured it out, why Hamlet is acting mad here. Oh, speak of that I do long to hear. Give first admittance to the ambassadors. My news shall be the fruit to the great feast. Here's Claudius. Thyself do grace to them and bring them in. He tells me, my dear Gertrude, he hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper. And here's Gertrude. This is an important moment. She knows, she gets the inkling of why Hamlet's so upset. I suspect it is no other but the principal point, the main, his father's death and our hasty marriage. She knows her son. This is why Hamlet's upset. His father's death and our quick marriage. Well, we shall sift him. That's a strange statement. We're going to sift Hamlet. We're going to figure it out and get to the bottom of this here. Enter Polonius, Voltimand, and Cornelius. Welcome, my good friends. Most fair return of greetings and desires upon our first. He sent out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be preparation against the Pola, but better looked into, he truly found it was against your highness. Whereat grieved that so his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends our arrest on Fortinbras, which he in brief obeys, receives rebuke from Norway, and in fine makes vow before his uncle nevermore to give the essay, trial, of his arms against your majesty, wherein old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 70,000 crowns annual fee, and is commissioned to employ those soldiers so levied as before against, with an entreaty herein further shown, that it might please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for their enterprise with such regards of safety and allowance as there are set down. So we got the political mechanisms here, machinations at work, Fortinbras, and Claudius here. Here's Claudius. It likes us well, and at the more considered time, we'll read, answer, and think upon this business later. We'll worry about this later. Meantime, we thank you for your well-took labor. Go to your rest at night. We'll feast together. There's the feast. So this is important here. King Claudius. We'll look at it later. Well, I'm not worried about this now, which he should be, right? We'll feast together. We'll drink and feast together again. Polonius here. This business is well ended. My liege and madam to postulate, to discuss here. We should be discussing this right here. That's what Polonius is saying. What majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night is night, and time is time, where nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, there's another one of Polonius's oft-quoted maxims, but he's not the, brevity is the soul of wit. Using less words to get to the point. But you'll see Polonius just go on and on here. And tediousness, the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Here, Hamlet's mad. Mad, I call it. For to define true madness, what's but to be nothing else but mad? But let that go. And Polonius thinks he's figured it out because of Ophelia here. More matter with less art. Queen. This is a funny. Brevity is the soul of wit. Tediousness the limbs of outward. More matter with less art. Get to the point, Polonius. Right? Get to the point. Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he's mad, 'tis true. 'Tis true, 'tis pity. And pity, 'tis true. See, again, he's just repeating himself right here, right? A foolish figure of rhetoric. I will use no art. Mad, let us grant him then, and now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say the cause of this defect, for this effect defective comes by cause. These are comic moments that shows Polonius is just talking in circles here, right? Thus it remains, and the remainder thus, per pen, I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience mark hath given me this, now gather and surmise. Reads the letter. So here are these Hamlet love letters where he's talking all bonkers here, right? And it's really there's method to his madness. That's one oft quoted thing that's true, but we'll see these letters here. Here's Hamlet's letters. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautiful Ophelia, that's no phrase, a vile, beautified is a vile, but you shall hear. Thus, in her excellent white bosom, these and etc. Came this from, Queen, came this from Hamlet to her? Good madam, stay a while. I will be faithful. Doubt that the stars are fire. Doubt that the sun doth move. Doubt truth to be a liar. But never doubt I love. O dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers, unskilled in verses. I have not art to beckon my groans, but that I love thee best, O most best, believe it, adieu. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him, Hamlet. That whilst this machine, that's a fascinating, this body, that's a fascinating turn there. This in obedience hath my daughter shown me, and more above, hath his solicitings, these are all Hamlet's letters, as they fell out by time, by means, and place, all given to mine ear. And Hamlet also knows, and this is the tricky thing with Hamlet and Ophelia, and we'll get more of this a little later. Hamlet knows, Hamlet, I do really, truly loves Ophelia, and he feels guilty for what happens down the road. But he also knows that whatever he shares with Ophelia, Ophelia will share with her dad, Polonius here. But how, and therefore Polonius will share with King Claudius. But how has she received his love? What do you think of me? As a man faithful and honorable, I would fain prove so. What might you think? When I had seen this hot love on the wing, as I perceived, I must tell you that before my daughter told me, what might you, or my dear majesty, your queen here, I think, if I had played the desk or table book, been a passive recipient, if I just let it go, or given my heart a winking, mute and dumb, or looked upon this love with idle sight, what might you think? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak, Lord Hamlet is a prince, out of thy star. This must not be. And then I prescripts gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he replied, a short tale to make. So, lock yourself away, Ophelia. Ignore Hamlet, right? And she fell into sadness, went into a fast, then to a watch, a wakefulness, thence into a weakness, thence into a lightness, mental and by this declension into the madness wherein now he raves. So, here's what happened to Hamlet when Polonius thinks because Ophelia is ignoring Hamlet from her father's advice, this is a cause of his madness here. Hamlet fell into a sadness, then he fasted, then he weakness, then he's like gnashing, here's Hamlet right here, how Polonius has witnessed him. Claudius to Gertrude, do you think 'tis this? And there is this true? And this is a very important moment too, where they're kind of plotting. Think about, close read these lines right here. Do you think this is? It may be very like, hath there been such a time I would fain know that I have possibly said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise? Not that I know. Has there ever been a time where I made a statement that wasn't true, and this is obviously not true? Take this from this. If this be otherwise, if circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center. Polonius, I'm going to try and get to the bottom of this. How may we try it further? So here's more plotting, more kind of scheming. Like, Claudius isn't 100%. I think Claudius is on the side of Gertrude with the, he's feeling probably a little guilty too for murdering King Hamlet. And Hamlet's up to something here. Sometimes he walks for hours together here in the lobby. So he does indeed. At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind in a Ross tapestry. Then mark the encounter. If he love her not, and be not from his reason fall thereon, let me be no assistant for estate, but keep a farm and carters. So, Polonius, to thine own self be true. All these statements. I'm going to sneak and hide and try and figure out what's eating Hamlet. We will try it. Enter Hamlet reading a book. But look where sadly the poor wretch comes. Away, I do beseech you both, away. I'll board him presently. Oh, give me leave. How does my good lord Hamlet? Well, God a mercy. Do you know me, my lord? Excellent, well. And so we have Hamlet here. Hamlet's acting a little bonkers, and he's hurtling some insults at Polonius. You are a fishmonger. He calls, you're a fishmonger. Not I, my lord. Then I would you were so honest a man. Honest, my lord? We have Hamlet's, Hamlet gets all the $1,000,000 lines. Hamlet's genius here. Honest, my lord? Polonius acts on, he says all these statements to I know himself be true, to, brevity is the soul of wit, but he acts the opposite of that. I, sir, to be honest as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000. Now, this is one of those all-time lines, right? To be honest in this world is to be 1 out of 10,000. How true and relevant is that now? To be honest, to be an honest person is 1 out of 10,000. That's very true, my lord. For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion. Have you a daughter? I have, my lord. Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but as your daughter may conceive, friend, look to it. How say you by that? He's like, what's he still harping on my daughter? Yet he know me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. Hey, is far gone, far gone. He's mad, he's like, oh yeah, he's gone, he's mad. And truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love, very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord? Words, words, words. What is the matter, my lord? Between who? I mean the matter that you read. What are you reading? Slander, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit. Together with most weak hams, all which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty, decency to have it thus set down, for you yourself, sir, should be as old as I am. Like a crab, you could go backward. Polonius, though this be madness, and yet there is method in it? Is there and this is one moment where even though Polonius does think Hamlet's mad over Ophelia, he's questioning himself here, and for my money, I think this is probably the most important thing Polonius says. There's a method to, Hamlet, there's a method to the madness here. Into my grave. Indeed, that's out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. A happiness, a turn of phrase that often madness hits on, which reason and sanity cannot so prosperously be delivered of. I will leave him, and suddenly contrive the means of meeting between him and my daughter. My lord, I will take leave of you. You cannot take from me anything that I will more willingly part withal, except my life. Except my life. Except my life. He's repeating that 3 times there. Here come, fare you well, my lord. These tedious old fools. He's referencing Polonius there, right? These tedious old fools. Here come his friends, Guildenstern and Rosencrantz. Fare you well, my lord. These tedious old fools. You go to seek the Lord Hamlet? There he is. God save you, sir. Polonius leaves, right? My honored lord, my most dear lord, my excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern, our Rosencrantz, good lands, how do you both? Ah, the indifferent children of the earth, happy in that we are not over happy, on fortune's cap we are not the very button, nor the soles of her shoe. Neither, my lord? We have a Hamlet here. Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favors, right? We have some double entendre. There are some body lines. And you live about her waist in the middle of her favors there. Faith, her privates we. In the secret parts of fortune, oh, most true, she is a strumpet. What news? None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest. Then the world's grown honest. Then is doomsday near? That's a lie, right? The world's not honest. But your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither? Prison, my lord? Denmark's a prison. Hamlet with these, dropping these lines. Denmark's a prison. Then is the world one? A goodly one, in which there are many confines, cell wards, and dungeons. Denmark being one of the worst, right? Remember, something's rotten in Denmark. Claudius, who's the king, he's running it to the ground, foul ways. We think not so, my lord. Why then 'tis none to you, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison. Here's another one of the famous Hamlet lines here. Why then 'tis none to you, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. We can think upon a thing. To Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, Denmark. Oh, it's it's an honest, it's not bad. Are you blind, right? Or you don't know what's going on? Again, think of that now in the world. Some people think everything's going. Hamlet. Nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison. Why then your ambition makes it one? 'Tis too narrow for your mind. O God, I would be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams. There's another one of Hamlet's. This Act 2, Scene 2 has many of the $1 million lines here. I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams. I could be happy in the small if it not for these gnawing thoughts getting to me, these aching, gnawing thoughts. Which dreams are indeed ambition, for the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream. And they're going back and forth here. They're tearing. A dream itself is but a shadow. Truly, and I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that is but a shadow. Then are our beggars' bodies and our monarchs and outstretched heroes the beggars' shadows? By your logic, beggars are substantial and great men are elongated shadows, is what Hamlet, he's using Rosencrantz's words and twisting them around here. Shall we to the court? For by my faith I cannot reason. By my faith I cannot reason. We'll wait upon you. Hamlet's kind of seeing Rosencrantz. They're his friends, but they know they're more. Hamlet knows Rosencrantz and Guildenstern's loyalty lies with the queen and king, right? We'll wait upon you. No such matter. I will not sort you with the rest of my servants, for to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended, but in the beaten way of friendship. What make you at Elsinore? Why are you here? Are you here because you really want to see me and that we're friends? Or are you here for some other reasons? And we know they're here for other reasons. And right here, to visit you, my lord, no other occasion. They lie right to Hamlet's face. And Hamlet knows. Beggar that I am even poor in thanks, but I thank you, and sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Not worth the halfpenny. Why you are not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak. I think Hamlet's also trying to see him out. If they were to say, if Guildenstern and which they're his old friends, if they were to say, King and Queen told us to spy on you, Hamlet would, but they're not. What shall we say, my lord? Anything but to the purpose. You were sent for, right? You're not here. You were sent for. And there is a kind of confession in your looks. You can't lie to me. I've known you forever. You can't lie. Which your modesties have not craft well enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you. To what end, my lord? That you must teach me, but let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the constancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love. Hamlet is beseeching his friends, be honest here. Let me know, because we're old friends. And by what more dear a better proposer can charge you withal, be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no. Tell me the truth. Be honest. And they're, what say you? Nay, then, I have an eye for you. If you love me, hold not off. Later, we're going to see what Hamlet does to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. The King Claudius. I don't want to give any spoilers. We'll see. But we'll return to this moment later. Hamlet feels guilty about something. My lord, we were sent for. Guildenstern tells him here, right? My lord, we were sent for. I know. Hamlet knows. I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the queen and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. It's a sterile, this earth is sterile. There's nothing, Hamlet is this most excellent canopy, the air. Look you, this brave overhanging firmament, this majestical roof adorned with golden fire, why it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. This is nothing but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable in action, how like an angel in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? All the greatness man can do, humankind, man still does horrible things. Man delights not me. Man delights not me. I am not delighted in humans, man, right now, nor woman either. By your smiling, you seem to say so. Back to Rosencrantz. My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts. Hamlet, why did you laugh then when I said, man delights not me? To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what meager entertainment the players shall receive from you? We overtook them on the way, and hither they are coming to offer you service. All right, so we got the players coming in now. He that plays the king shall be welcome. His majesty shall have tribute of me. The adventurous knight shall use his foil and target. The lover shall not sigh gratis. The humorous man shall end his part in peace. The clown shall make those laugh whose lungs are tickle or the seer, and the lady shall say her mind freely, or the blank verse shall halt. What players are they? Ever those you were wont to take such delight in the tragedians of the city. How chances it they travel? Their residence, both in reputation and profit, was better both ways. I think their ambition comes by the means of the late innovation. So what are they doing here? Hamlet's, what are these players? What's going on with these players here? This acting troupe, and we get the play within the play coming up soon, which is a brilliant part here. I think their ambition comes by the means of late. Do they hold the same estimation they did when I was in the city? Are they so followed? Are they as popular as they were? No, indeed they're not. How comes it? Do they grow rusty? Nay, their endeavor keeps in the wanted pace, but there's, sir, no ire of children, little ices, and cry out in the top of question are most tyrannically clapped for. These are now the fashion, so berattle the common stages, that many wearing rapiers are afraid of goose quills and dare scarce them come hither. What, are they children? Who maintains them? How are they escorted? How are they supported? How are they financially? Will they pursue the quality? And these next parts here are important. We show Hamlet feigning a little bit. No longer can they sing. Will they not say afterwards that they should grow themselves to common players, as is most like if their means are no better, their writers do them wrong to make them exclaim against their own succession? Rosencrantz, faith, there has been much to do on both sides, and the nation holds it no sin to tear. Insight, them to controversy. There was, for a while, no money bid for argument, plot of a play, unless the poet and the player went to cuffs in the question. Is it possible? Oh, there has been much throwing about of brains. Do the boys carry it away? Ah, that they do, my lord. Hercules and his load, too. It is not very strange, for my uncle is king of Denmark, and those that would make mouths at him while my father lived give 20, 40, 50, 100 ducats apiece for his pitcher and little. It's blood. By God's blood, there is something in this more than natural if philosophy could find it out. So something's going on, right? If I can only find it out. How am I going to find it out? How can I get something that shows that Claudius is guilty? These are the players, and here's Hamlet, feigning madness here. Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands come then the appurtenance of welcome and fashion and ceremony. Let me comply, be courteous with you in this garb, outward show. Lay me extent to the players, which I tell you must fairly outward, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome. But my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived. In what, my dear lord? I am, this is an important moment here too. I am but mad northwest, on one point of the compass only. He pretty much tells them, right? I am but mad northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw. So I'm only a little bit mad. But I know I could tell the truth, right? I could tell. And here comes Polonius. Well be with you, gentlemen. Hark you, Guildenstern, and you two at each ear here. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouds. He's talking about Polonius. Happily, he is the second time to come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child. We got some jokes here. I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players. Mark it, you say right, sir. A Monday morning, 'twas then indeed. My lord, I have news to tell you. My lord, I have news to tell you. He's just mimicking Polonius here. When Roscius was an actor in Rome, so he's playing with Polonius here, right? Acting bonkers. The actors are come hither, my lord. Buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz. Old news. Upon my honor. Then came each actor on his ass. The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, comical, historical, pastoral. This is comic, Polonius is going on again. Or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plaudius too light, for the law of writ and the liberty, these are the only men. O Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hast thou? What a treasure had he, my lord? Why, one fair daughter, and no more, the which he loved passing well. Polonius, if you call me my lord, I have a daughter that I love passing well. Nay, that follows not. What follows then, my lord? Why? As by lot, God wot. And then, it came to pass as most like it was. The first row of the pious chanson will show you more where the abridgment comes. Who abridge the entertainers. And here come the players. You are welcome, masters. Welcome on. Glad to see thee well. Welcome, good friends. Welcome, old friend. We're going to skip around a little bit. What speech, my good lord? I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted. Or if it was, not above once. For the play I remember, please not the million. 'Twas cavalry to the general, but it was as I received it, and others whose judgments in such matters cried in the top of mine, an excellent play, well digested in the scene, set down with as much modesty as cunning. I remember one said there were no sallets in the lines to make the matter savory, nor no matter in the phrase that might indict the author of affectation, but called it an honest method, as wholesome as sweet, and be very much more handsome than fine. One speech that chiefly loved, 'twas Aeneas' tale of Dido, and thereabout of it, especially when he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. So there was once a speech, right? The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Herculean beast. 'Tis not so. It begins with Pyrrhus. So he's talking about this speech, and we're going to see here Hamlet. They want to modify it a little bit. All right, he's reading the speech that led to Tyrannus. All right. For God, my lord, well spoken with good accent. So Hamlet quotes the speech here. First player, anon he finds him striking too short at Greeks. Echoes Hamlet. Here's the player, right? And this is echoes Hamlet. Anon he finds him striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command, unequal match. Pyrrhus at Priam drives, and we have the speech here. And we're not going to read it word for word. This is too long. Polonius, this is too long. It shall to the barbers with your beard. Prithee, say on. He's for a jig on the tail of Baudry, or he sleeps. Say on. come to Hecuba. Say on, come to Hecuba. Back to the speech, though. You know, it's something in it strikes Hamlet, right? Right here, when he's talking in a speech, it mirrors Hamlet, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. So something in this speech strikes Hamlet, but as we often see, a silence in the heavens, the rack stands still. So Hamlet takes this right here, when the player repeats the speech to him about doing nothing, a silence. Hamlet kind of takes this to heart, and we see the next soliloquy coming up, right? Hamlet kind of takes this to heart here. But who, ah woe, had seen the marbled queen? The marbled queen, that's good, marbled queen, run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames, with bison room a cloud upon that head. So the player, this is mimicking what's going on, right? A blank in alarm, a fear caught up, who has this scene with tongue in venom steeped, against fortune state with trees never pronounced, but the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport, and mincing with the sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal moved them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods. Look where he has not turned his color and has tears in his eyes. So this is what Hamlet, the actors is really, playing it out here. He's a great actor, and he's 'tis well. I'll have thee speak of the rest very, very soon. Good, my lord. Will you see the players well bestowed, housed? Do you hear? Take care of them. Set these guys up. These are good. Hamlet's like, I like when, let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you were better have a bad epithet in their ill report while you live. My lord, I will use them according to their desert. Hamlet, treat these actors good. I love this moment here. God's bodykins, man, much better. Use every man after his desert, and who shall escape whipping? Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in. This is Hamlet's hospitality here, right? The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Use every man after his desert, and who shall escape whipping? If you treat every man according to, it will all be whipped. Use them after your own honor. Use your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in. Come, sirs. Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago? Aye, my lord. This is the mousetrap here, right? This is where Hamlet's going to catch the king, because he knows this actor can act. Very well, follow that, my lord. And look, mock him not, my good friends. I'll leave you till night. You are welcome in Elsinore. I'm pleased with, the troop. Good, my lord. Here we go. Here's the soliloquy. Hamlet, after seeing the actors, knows he's been kind of soft footing around. He hasn't been, he's been playing. He something he takes from these actors that shows him how he needs to act. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. It is not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that this actor, even though he's acting, can show all this passion and emotion, that from her working all this visage wan, this is a great actor. Tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting. But there's a despair, it's all for nothing, with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing. So, the actors, all for nothing. For Hecuba, what's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears. So he's a good actor. If I was him, he would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech. So all I'm doing is crying and using these horrible, I'm acting a fool. Make mad the guilty and appall the free. Confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculty of eyes and ears. Right? So this is what the actor would do. Yet I, a dull and muddy mettled rascal, here's me. And Hamlet is really, this is self-lacerating. He's really giving it to himself here. This is the indecision. This is, for a hero in a play, he's really just giving it to himself here. A dull and muddy mettled rascal, I'm weak-spirited, peak like John o' Dreams, mope like a dreamer. All I'm doing is moping. I'm crying and moping, unpregnant of my cause, unquickened. I don't know what to do. I can't act, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. I can't do anything. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? I am a coward. Who calls me villain? Breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows into my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie in the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Swoons, God's wounds. I should take it, for I cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered. I'm pigeon-livered, and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites. With this slave's awful, bloody body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. So he's talking about Claudius here, right? Oh, vengeance. Why, what an ass am I, right? Hamlet, I'm an ass. This is most brave. This is fine. That I, the son of a dear father murdered. This is the play right here, right? This is the play. Prompted to my revenge. This is like the play in a nutshell. By heaven and hell, my father told me what happened, and must, like a whore. I'm also a whore, right? Unpack my heart with words and fall a cursing like a very drab prostitute, right? A stallion. This is all a Hamlet. This end right here. This is all a Hamlet. Fie upon fie, about my brains, I have heard that guilty creatures sitting in a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently, immediately, they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. This is all of Hamlet right here, right? This is it. I'll observe his looks, I'll tent him to the quick. If I do blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, there's my weakness and melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn him. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. So that soliloquy, a quick synopsis. In addition to revealing Hamlet's plot to catch the king in his guilt, Hamlet's soliloquy uncovers the very essence of Hamlet's true conflict. This is the third soliloquy. For he is undeniably committed to seeking revenge for his father, yet he cannot act on behalf of his father due to his revulsion toward extracting that cold and calculating revenge. Hamlet's sense of himself as a coward is derived from a crude, simplistic judgment turning on whether or not he has yet taken any action against the man who murdered his father. His self-condemnation takes several bizarre forms, including histrionic imaginings of a series of demeaning insults that he absorbs. I'm an ass, like a coward, because he feels he has done nothing to take revenge on Claudius. Determined to convince himself to carry out the premeditated murder of his uncle, Hamlet works himself into a frenzy. The culmination occurs in lines 357, 358. He hopes that his passions will halt his better judgment, and he will then be able to charge forth and kill Claudius without hesitation. But Hamlet again fails to quell his apprehensions of committing murder and cannot act immediately. So he tries to focus his attention on a plan to ensure Claudius admits his own guilt. He returns to an idea that has crossed his mind earlier, that of staging the play The Mousetrap. Hamlet is convinced that as Claudius watches a reenactment of his crime, he will surely reveal his own guilt. Hamlet cannot take the word of his father's ghost, who really might be the devil, tricking him into damning himself. Thus, he must have more material proof that he takes Claudius's life. He must catch the conscience of the king. So that long scene sets up the play in motion. Here's a very important, that's the soliloquy where Hamlet's gnashing his teeth. He's self-lacerating, and he needs to act, and it's spurred upon on by his viewing of the actor.